so that more students don't have to go through this unfair process.
I'm Bronson Woodruff. For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
The political climate in America has changed. We've been given a reprieve, and we have to work together to take advantage of that momentum and effect even more cultural and spiritual change. We can rebuild America. The American Family Association is working to do just that, and when you join with your support, it helps maximize the impact. As our thanks, we'll give you a DVD of biblical financial advice from Rob West called Biblical Stewardship. Please visit afa.net and get started today.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
At the rate of inflation, what would the $6 million man be worth today?
That's a good question.
But the lady sent me the wrong shirt. The one I got had Huey, Dewey, and Louie on the front of it.
Is that true?
At least he didn't say, Larry, Moe, and Curly.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. All right, welcome to the program. We're here every Friday. I'm Tim Wildmon with Ed Battagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
And good morning, J.J. Jasper.
Great to be here. Two buddies were talking. One said, I heard the First National Bank is looking for a new teller. The other one said, well, I thought they hired a new teller last week. Yeah, that's right. That's the one they're looking for.
Bada boom. All right. It's Trivia Friday, also known as Learning University. Learning University is on the air. And tell us what we're doing here today, Ed, and every Friday.
Well, we are stretching the brains of our listeners, our students here at Learning University. We are, each of us professors, going to challenge those students with 3 questions apiece. And we invite our listeners to call in and try to answer one of those questions. And we'd like for them to send a question our way, see if they can stump the panel. So the number to call if you want to get on the program is 888-589-8840. Now, we do ask if you have gotten on the program with us in the last 2 months, 8 weeks. We ask you to wait a week so that others can get on the program, have a better chance. 888-589-8840. So ask and answer is what we like for you to do. JJ, one of these original 9 questions is kind of special.
One is the mystery question. Before I do that, I want to give a shout out to some new friends in Newton, Kansas. Last week I was in Newton, Kansas. I spoke at 3 different events, and I met Michelle and Troy Slabach and Matt and Austin, Jake and Julie and Toby and his sisters. Charlene, I think her name was, and her husband. They drove down from Topeka to be there. Russell and Lori, Wayne and Bev. Rodney came up, and he said he's been working at the same place. He got out of high school, started working at this plant in 1979. He's still there, and his sweet wife met her. She's from South Korea, and he doesn't have a computer, doesn't have a smartphone. He listens with a transistor radio in his pocket.
Wow.
I think right about this time right now. So say hi to my new friend Rodney. But I literally met hundreds of AFR listeners and heard so many wonderful stories. The folks in Kansas love AFA and AFR.
We love them.
Hey,
grateful for them.
The mystery question, one of these original 9 questions is a mystery question. If you land on it, answer it correctly, you'll hear this sound. The beloved cowbell.
Yeah.
That means you're going to win a really nice AFR cap. If you don't win the cap, we've got DVDs, books, T-shirts, caps, a lot of stuff in our AFA store.
How old do you have to be?
You have to be 11 years old or older. We don't have an upper limit. If you're 120 and you want to call in, you can. But 11 years old and older.
If you can hear. You got to be able to hear. Huh?
Yes.
Well, that applies to 60-year-olds in today's world.
Is
today first time? Oh, no.
No. It's just
okay.
our regular.
Did we give the phone number already?
I did.
Okay, sorry about that.
I was giving it. I gave it out twice while you were looking up ball scores.
I was fiddling. I was fiddling.
In full disclosure, I saw what he was typing out there. Dear Elon, dear Donald Trump, please make up. Don't let this linger. So thank you for trying to be a go-between, Tim.
That's right.
I think we're more likely to have a pay-per-view SmackDown than a
reconciliation.
They ain't make it. These two don't make up much.
Well, I will say this: if you
accuse somebody to be in the Epstein files,
if you can't,
I'm sorry.
And you say you need to be impeached?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
If you can't get them together and to reconcile, then pay-per-view SmackDown is the next best thing.
Right. It'd pay off the national debt.
Here's the deal. This will be a pretty different twist. Let's get Putin to go and broker a deal between them two. So y'all been spending all y'all's energy trying to get me and the Ukraine fella together, that short comedian running the country. I want to come over there and broker a deal between y'all and get y'all to kiss and make up.
Right. It's a mess. All right. So go ahead, Ed. Give your questions.
All right. Here are my 3 questions. Today, by the way, is the anniversary of D-Day. So I have a D-Day question. In the Normandy invasion on June 6, 1944, what were the code names for the 5 beaches upon which Allied forces landed? Now, if you can answer this without looking it up, we'll send you a ball cap. How's that? I think we mentioned something about that last week, or someone called in. But here's the question again. In the Normandy invasion on June 6, 1944, what were the code names for the 5 beaches upon which Allied forces landed? Second question. What was the name of the failed organization that preceded the United Nations? That preceded the current failed organization, maybe I can say it that way. What was the name of the failed organization, international organization, that preceded the United Nations? And then third question, this is from one of our listeners, John. Sometimes a public space will post a sign that says, area under CCTV surveillance. What does CCTV stand for? Sometimes a public space will post a sign that says, area under CCTV surveillance. What does CCTV stand for?
Here's what I got. First question. Of the 7 colors of the rainbow, which is the middle color? Of the 7 colors of the rainbow, which is the middle one? Second question. What soft drink called itself the Uncola? What soft drink called itself the Uncola? Third question, true or false? The standard music played from an ice cream truck takes melodies and rhythms from the most common children's lullabies to subliminally connect emotionally and attract children.
You wrote that yourself?
We don't know.
This is right out of, well, I'm not going to tell you the source, but is that true or false? The standard music played from an ice cream truck, it comes from children's lullabies to subliminally connect emotionally and psychologically. To connect with kids and attract kids so that they'll scream and their friends scream and we'll all scream for ice cream.
I don't know how that could be true, because that wasn't that on Kiss's first album? That rock group Kiss.
Yeah, what about him?
Yeah, didn't they have that ice cream truck song on there?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just kidding.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time that American companies have used emotional manipulation to get you to buy something, right?
We were so poor. Whenever the truck would come, we'd hear that music, and everybody in our neighborhood would just go gaga. My folks would say, "Oh no, that music means they're out of ice cream." those kids are going to be disappointed. Everybody flocking to the truck. No, Jimmy, Michael, Kelly, Karen, y'all stay in the yard. Right. That music plays. Sorry, we're out of ice cream.
All right, here are my 3 questions. Number 1.
That's funny.
The Pule, P-U-L-E, Pule cheese, a kind of cheese, most people have heard of that, comes from the milk of what animal? Pule cheese comes from
How do you spell that again?
P-U-L-E.
P-U-L-E. Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
Pule.
You say everybody's heard of it because I've just learned. I've just learned something right here
30
on,
seconds
on
ago.
I like
Learning
it.
University.
My sandwiches. Add a little Pule cheese. You get a kick.
Add a little
Ro-
fuel to the
folks,
fire.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
folks,
I
we
like
promised you'd learn something on Trivia Friday.
So here's my second question. What is the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
And my third question is, where did Superman grow up? Where did Superman grow up? Not his planet that he came from.
Right.
I'm talking about when he landed on Earth.
I'm really proud of you, Tim.
Yeah, I'm
That-
trying.
you know some of that
I'm
backstory.
trying for my. Is it Marvel or DC? Sorry.
Oh, now you just ruined it.
I'm sorry.
That's DC.
Here's the
That's what I
deal.
thought
Go
it
ahead
was.
and add what happens if you pull on his cape or if you spit in the wind, because neither one of them consequences is good for you.
Yeah, then you end up in a cemetery or a graveyard.
One or the other.
One or the other, depending
For
on.
which reason?
Yeah. All right, go
Eating
ahead.
too much Pule cheese, I guess. All right, we're going to go to Texas, and Avery is on the line, and Avery is 11 years old, just over the line. Avery, welcome to Trivia Friday, buddy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where do you live in Texas?
I live in Fort Hood area.
Fort Hood area. All right, wonderful. Well, do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I would like to do both, please.
All right, which one do you want to answer?
The rainbow colors.
Oh, good. Here's the question, Avery. Of the 7 colors of the rainbow, which is the middle one?
I think it's green.
Green. Nicely
Wow.
done. Way to get us started.
I didn't know
my,
that.
My wife, when I was telling some of these questions, she said she had just heard this thing, and my daughter said, well, everybody knows this, but she just learned it, and I hadn't heard of it. Roy G. Biv. If you say Roy G. Biv,
Oh, that's the
you'll know the colors. Have you guys heard
He
that?
was
No.
a pig farmer down the street from
Roy
my
wears
grandparents.
he wears overalls, no
Yeah.
shirt under the
What
overalls.
was his name?
Roy
Yeah.
G. Biv.
I remember him.
Yeah, got a weed hanging out of his
Yeah.
mouth there. I
Yeah.
think I've
And
seen him
a
on the side of
Corn
the road.
pipe
Yeah.
at night on,
Roy,
on the front
Roy
porch.
G. Biv. Had you
And
ever
a
heard
carrot,
that?
and a carrot
Avery-
for a nose.
Avery, had you ever heard Roy G. Biv?
Yes,
Well,
I have.
Well, see, I guess everybody knows it, but us three professors and
Now,
my
is that
wife,
from top to bottom? or
it's red, orange, yellow. Yeah, I'm supposed
bottom.
So yeah, that'd be the good way to do it. Hey, what's your question for us, Avery? Nice job.
I actually have a joke.
We're ready.
What happens if a tick eats too fast?
What happens if a tick
eats too
fast? That's a good question.
I have no
good
idea.
joke. We're stumped. What's the answer?
They get hiccups.
The tick gets tick up.
Tick up.
Tick
Oh,
I like
I
it.
see what
Hey,
you
that's
did.
a good one.
See what you did there.
Avery, have a great
Yeah.
weekend. Thank your parents for listening to AFR, and have a fun summer in Texas.
Hey, tick ups.
Tick ups.
That'd be a good website to start with people dancing. What you think? Little 20-second dancing videos, things like the
videos
tick-ups.
with cats and stuff like that.
Yeah, sell it to the communist Chinese. You're set for life. Tick. What do you say?
Tick-ups.
Tick-ups.
Yeah.
All right, go.
All right, let's go to Kansas, and Charlene is
She was
on
probably at JJ's event last week.
Hey,
Yeah, it might have
Charlene,
been.
I think her husband Ben. I'm not sure about his name, but they were wonderful, young couple, and they had like 8 kids. And I thought, how do you have 8 kids and you look like you're in your late 20s?
They had like 8 kids, or did they have
Something-
8 kids?
No,
or
I
not?
can't remember if they said 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember. Hey, Charlene.
They might try.
What
to
part of
remember, too.
Kansas?
From Topeka, sir. And yes, you did talk to us last weekend. Edward is my husband's name.
Oh, my word. So this is Charlene. Charlene and Ed. Charlene, do you have 8 children?
Currently, yes.
Yeah. The
Currently.
Well, see, we had the best visit, and they were so sweet, and they drove from Topeka all the way to Newton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow, and you made it through on today's issue, on Trivia Friday.
Did I
How?
just hear a rooster?
Yes, you did. My neighbor has a rooster.
I thought I'm not the only one that heard that rooster.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that what happens for some health crisis hits you?
You start
no, I think
start hearing
no,
roosters?
that's what happens before lunch.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Charlene, please tell Ed hello. I so enjoyed the visit, getting to meet you guys. Do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
We would like to do both.
All right, which one you feel confident about?
Superman.
Superman. All right, Charlene, here's the question. Where did Superman grow up?
Smallville, Kansas.
There you go. That's right. Smallville, Kansas is where Superman grew up.
Didn't he land in a pod or something, and his blanket was there, and that's what they used to make the cape or something? Or
I think that's right.
Overthinking it.
No, I think that's right.
Smallville's a fictional place, right, Charlene? There's no, or is there a town called Smallville in Kansas? Huh?
I believe it's fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman is fake too, Tim.
Some,
I'm not trying to.
why are you ruining my
bust your bubble?
my childhood dreams of me?
Then who else is going to be able to leap tall buildings at a single bound?
Listen to that.
now
That's
I
music
can't.
right
I
That is
can't-
a healthy rooster.
Yes, it is.
Now I
If it's
can't
next
not hear
door.
it.
Yeah.
What is a hey Charlene? When a rooster does what he just did right there, what is he trying to say?
That you've overslept.
Who wants to fight me? I don't.
Who wants to what?
Fight me.
Oh, I thought he said who wants to fry me. But he said who wants,
Well,
who wants
that comes next. If he attacks the wrong person, he'll wind up on a biscuit.
Oh, my word. Hey, Charlene, what's your question for us?
Okay, I actually have a riddle, and I have a question that my son wanted to ask real quick. He'll be 11 in August, so he's not quite there, but he wanted to ask what a tree's favorite month is.
A tree's favorite month.
Now, what kind of rhymes with bark or leaf or something? I'm trying to give us some little starting points. Tree's favorite
month.
This is a riddle? This is a riddle?
It's a riddle. All right, we're stumped, Charlene.
Yeah. September.
I like it.
That was good.
September. That's really good.
Yeah, that's good. That's clever. Absolutely. September. Okay. All right.
Hey, there we go. Nice sign off.
Sound like you're getting closer. Charlene, are you tracking this?
I'm not trying to.
That's her ringtone. Her husband's trying to call while she's on the show.
That's funny.
Hey,
So,
Charlene.
Well, was there a riddle and a question, or were those combined?
Well, I had another riddle. It's every night I'm told what to do, and each morning I do what I'm told, but I still don't escape your scold. What am I?
I still don't escape your what?
Scold.
Scold.
Like SKOAL.
I think that's SCOLD.
Could be
What?
Could be
You've been eating too
SCOLD.
much. You've been eating too much pooled cheese. It's SCOLD.
I see guys buy that at the convenience
A little flat can.
Yeah.
convenience store. That or Copenhagen. Am I right?
You're on a different track. Hey, so what's that about?
I've been told that
the last thing that we do at night, and the first thing, and say it. Will you say it again, please?
Yes, sir. Every night I'm told what to do, and each morning I do what I'm told, but I still don't escape your scold. What am I?
Is it going to be like setting the alarm or something?
We all know I'm
You would've
terrible
told.
on these.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's the alarm clock.
I don't know.
Stop it.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
JJ
Yes.
Jasper.
Oh,
Jay,
that was
that's
just
unbelievable.
that was a shot at
You
the
were here
dark.
for a reason.
That's right. That was
Today?
me just throwing my hand over in the dark, slapping on the top
Yeah.
of the
Alarm clock.
alarm clock.
Way to go.
Shot in the
All right.
dark. Thanks,
Hey,
Charlene.
Thank you, Charlene.
All right, you're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. and Ed, Tim, and JJ, and that was Charlene from Kansas.
And now I can picture our listeners because I've met so many and just met them last weekend. What's the chance of them being able to get through?
I know.
It's hard. It's hard to get through the phones. People say,
is.
I've been trying for 3 years.
That was the loudest rooster we've ever had on this show.
Man, that rooster was.
Yeah, he's crowing.
Yes.
That rooster.
Got something to crow about.
Yeah.
So did I understand what she was saying, that roosters are crowing to challenge other roosters if they're in the area?
Maybe her son said that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think he was saying you've overslept.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Better wake up. All right, go ahead. Who's
All
next?
right, let's go back to Texas. Why don't we do that? And John is on the line. John, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning, esteemed professors.
Oh, thank you, John.
Howdy, John.
Where do you live in Texas?
Texarkana.
Texarkana. All right, John, you want to ask, answer, or do both, sir?
Do both.
All right, which question you want to try to answer?
The one about the CCTV.
All right, here's the question. Sometimes a public space will post a sign that says area under CCTV surveillance. What does CCTV stand for?
Closed circuit television.
That is correct. Closed
Wow.
circuit television.
Nicely done.
How did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen those everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know whether they legally have to tell you that. I don't know the reason for that, but you're correct. I see that sign pretty frequently.
Closed what?
Closed circuit television.
You have to be careful when you see those. Now, the open circuit television, you can just do all willy-nilly and act any way you want because there's just a big difference.
But if it's
there.
closed,
If it's
like-
closed,
like
that's
a
a
club.
little bit different. That's
Really.
right.
You got to pay to be on it. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Hey, what's your question for us, John?
So this isn't more of a question, but it's more of a joke about November thing.
We're ready.
Why did the weather say 350 degrees when the turkey looked at it?
Say that again? Why did the weather?
Why did the weather say it was 350 degrees when the turkey looked at it?
Because he was in the oven looking at the oven readout, not the weather.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Is that
thinking
it?
the turkey's already expired by the time that would occur to him. Am I the only one?
And he ended up in the turkey, what, cemetery or the turkey
The
graveyard?
graveyard. So what's the answer to the riddle?
Because it was Thanksgiving.
All right, ask the question and give the answer again, because I'm
a little confused.
All right. The question was, why did the turkey see the weather saying, why was the temperature 350 degrees when the turkey looked at it?
And the answer is?
Because he was about to go into the oven.
Okay.
He's looking at
Thanksgiving. Yeah, he's looking at that.
Yeah.
Thinking he's looking at the
people
outside look outside thermometer.
Oh.
Hey, thanks, John.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a great weekend.
Thank you, Brother John. All right, you're listening. Let's take our break right here, and we'll come back and repeat our questions that have heretofore gone unanswered. We'll do that momentarily. Stay with us. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio.
It's my turn. Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Robert E. Lee was a Southern general during the war between the states. Most of us know that from the history books which we have read. But often the history books fail to tell us much about the personal lives of famous people. Years after the war had ended, Robert E. Lee was sitting on his porch one day in his rocking chair. The years had taken their toll on him, and his health was fast failing. While there on the porch, he was approached by two men who came from the Louisiana lottery. They came to make him a proposition. Their proposition would have made Lee a rich man. He listened carefully as they laid out their plans, but he found it hard to believe what he heard. So Lee asked the men to repeat their offer again, thinking perhaps he had not understood their offer. Again they made their pitch. The men didn't want Lee to invest any money. All they wanted was the use of his name for promotional purposes to use in their lottery. And just for the use of his name, they promised to make him rich. Lee stood up, rising slowly. He balanced himself on his crutches. He stood erect, looked the men in the eye, and with the courage and conviction that made him great, he spoke some hot-tempered words. "Gentlemen," he said, "I lost my home in the war. I lost my fortune in the war. I lost everything I had in the war except my name. My name is not for sale. And if you don't get out of here at once, I will hit you in the head with my crutch." Anger. We have tended to associate it with wrong. We have forgotten that there is such a thing as righteous indignation, holy anger. Most folks think that when you get angry, it's the devil which causes you to do so. I would guess that most of the time it is the devil which causes you to get angry. But often anger is the evidence of the love of God in one's heart. The carpenter went into the temple courtyard one day, saw what had happened there, saw how something intended for good had been turned into something evil, and he became very angry because of it. His holy anger, righteous indignation, caused him to turn over the tables of the money changers, and then gave him the courage to run some folks out of the temple. What many folks call tolerance, others call cowardice. Often when no anger boils up within us at the sight of wrong, it is simply because we've gotten to the place where we don't care. Wrong wouldn't stand much of a chance in our world if we could muster enough of this holy anger, this righteous indignation. Too often we've been told that what we should do is rid ourselves of anger. What we need to learn to do is not to rid ourselves of anger, but to harness this God-given emotion, to channel it for good purposes. You see, sometimes the tables need to be turned over.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. 2 Corinthians 5:1.
American Family Radio.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
That's Superman. I always wondered about that intro there, which is great.
Yeah,
I love that. That's
classic.
Classic. And that was back to was that the 1950s right there? Probably
50s and early 60s.
if he's able to fly with a speeding bullet.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Yes. Faster than a speeding bullet. No, yeah, faster than a speeding bullet.
Why don't he just fly over the buildings he jumps in at a single bound? I didn't know what's the point of boing, boing when you just fly over them. A speeding bullet, man.
I think you're overthinking it.
I think I'm overthinking it.
Yes.
All right, Trivia Friday it is on American Family Radio. Tim, Ed, and JJ, thanks for listening to AFR and appreciate you joining us on the Trivia Show each Friday. So,
do we need to reset our questions? I've had a couple answered.
Hey, listen, let me just say this. Next Friday, a week from today, which I don't know if this show is going to be, today's June 6th.
So it'll be the 13th next Friday.
2025. So we will have a best of.
Yes.
Because we're going to be out of pocket. And so be prepared for a best of Trivia Friday a week from today during this hour and a half.
It'll still be awesome to listen to.
Awesomer.
But
betterer.
But you won't call in.
Right. So be prepared for that. All right, go ahead and repeat our questions.
All right, and I have to add one as well. First question, in the Normandy invasion on June 6, 1944, today is June 6th, what were the code names for the 5 beaches upon which Allied forces landed? And if you can answer this question correctly without looking it up, you can get yourself a AFR ball cap.
That will be impressive.
That will be impressive. Mm-hmm. Second question, what was the name of the failed organization that preceded the United Nations? United Nations was organized, I think, in 1946, but there was a failed organization that preceded it. What was the name of it? And I will add this question. What is the most widely eaten fish in the United States? Most popular, however you want to put it. What is the most widely eaten fish in the United States?
By humans or cats? Because I want to strike off goldfish.
Yeah, goldfish is not on it.
Here's what I've got. First question. What soft drink called itself the Uncola? Maybe you're old enough to remember the commercials. What soft drink called itself the Uncola? Second question, true or false? The standard music played from an ice cream truck takes melodies and rhythms from the most common children's lullabies to subliminally connect emotionally and psychologically to attract children. That's the long version. But the music coming from the ice cream truck is to try to get in the heads of kids to buy ice cream. Is that true or false? Then I'll add one. This is multiple choice. What does a stimp meter measure? What does a stimp meter measure?
Spell it.
STIMPMETER. Multiple choice.
Can you give the origin, the language origin?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Yes.
Here's what does a stimp meter measure? Is it A, the speed of a golf course putting green, B, the speed that solid rocket boosters are jettisoned from a spacecraft, or C, the speed at which magma is pushed from the mantle to the surface of the earth to make lava? So, what does a stimp meter measure? Does it have to do with a golf course, a rocket, or a volcano?
All right, here are my, I got 2 questions, and I'll give another one if I need to. But the first one is, what is the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? What is the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? And I'll do like Ed did. If you know that without looking it up or asking somebody, if you just know that and can call in and answer the question, then we'll give you an AFR ball cap.
Amen.
Okay?
See, I never knew there was a difference, so I'm
yeah, me either.
And then I didn't know there was a difference between caskets and coffins. And years ago, that was one of my questions. And
there's a difference.
Yeah, there's a coffin is like got the shapes across the top.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like however many sides.
Yeah.
And then a casket is what we know. And, you know.
All right, my second question is Pule cheese, P-U-L-E, Pule cheese comes from the milk of what animal? Pule cheese comes from the milk of what animal? Back to the phones, Ed.
All right, let's go to North Carolina. And David is on the line. David, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning, professors, and great to hear you, be on the air with you, and would love to come see you sometime.
Hey, we
Please
welcome
do it.
you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Come on down.
Just register seriously at afa.net.
Bring a gift.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to bring a gift.
He doesn't?
Your presence, David, would be the only gift we would need.
Hey, David, what part of North Carolina?
Near the Charlotte area.
Okay, good.
Well, hey, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Want to do both.
All right. Which question you want to try to answer?
It's been a long time since I've had this soft drink, but I want to try to answer that. I think I remember.
Here's the question. What soft drink called itself the Uncola?
7-Up.
Hey, there you go. There's a winner. There's a winner.
Mystery question.
Mystery question answer.
The mystery question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well.
AFR ball caps headed to North Carolina.
So, David, you're old enough, like the three professors. I haven't seen an ad touting that for decades, but when we were young, they'd say, hey, it's the Uncola. And all the drinks out there were cola colored.
Dark.
And then dark, and it was the only clear one. Well, you had Mountain Dew that was yellow, but it was the only clear one. Hey, we're the Uncola. But somebody asked, do they even make it anymore? I think they do, but I'm like you. I haven't had one in a while.
7-Up.
I like 7-Up.
Yeah, it's great. I'm going to go have one after this.
There you go.
Yes,
Well, it won you a ball cap. Before we're finished talking.
Go ahead,
sir.
Could I make a request?
Yes, sir.
This is not my question. I had the privilege of winning a ball cap 6 months ago on this program. I hit the mystery question there too. Could you pass on the cap to the next caller? Pass it ahead. Pass it forward.
Pay it forward.
We sure will. That's very generous of you, David.
Yes, it is.
Do you want to do the next?
I love mine.
How about the next person who answers
correctly?
Correct.
Is that okay?
Yeah. We don't want to reward failure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is,
everybody gets a trophy.
Then it puts the pressure on whatever I click on. And so how about the next person to answer a question correctly wins a ball cap, courtesy of David.
Is that okay with you, David?
That will work.
Well, that's nice of you. What's your question for us?
My question is, back in 1993 or 1994, maybe 1994, there was a movie, Little Rascals, kind of a movie that spun off of the old gang comedy. And there, in that movie, The Little Rascals, there was a rich kid who was in a race with Alfalfa. And the question is, who was the father of the rich kid in that movie?
Well, that's a deep dive.
Now, are you talking about the character's name of the father or the actor?
The person who played the father.
I don't know the answer either way. I was just asking.
Yeah, why'd you waste your time? You wasted 30 seconds asking a question that you didn't even care whether he answered right.
Are you talking about the guy?
Yeah.
No.
You were trying to see if JJ and I, that would help us, that question.
Yes.
Yeah. What? Repeat the question again real quickly, David.
Back in 1994, the movie The Little Rascals, there was a scene in there where a rich kid and Alfalfa were in a go-kart race.
Okay.
And the rich kid had this elaborate kind of go-kart, and his father was in the audience watching. Who was the father?
Oh, wow. 94.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to say
I'm
going to say his Donald Trump was in the because he made a few little cameos. He showed up on one of those Home Alone.
Yeah,
movies.
Home Alone 2.
But just to guess, I'm going to say Donald Trump.
I'm going to go with JJ. He has an uncanny ability to pick these obscure ones out of nowhere. I'm going with JJ.
I'm gonna go. Hold on. I'm gonna go with Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier. He was very.
JJ just won a ball cap.
He was very.
What?
You got it. See,
Wow.
Donald
won a
Trump.
ball cap.
Way to
You
go,
got it.
JJ.
Yeah.
Purely a guess, but I appreciate what you said
That's-
about
you're-
uncanny because my wife says that, but she says it in a different context. She said, "You're pretty remarkable." Like when I'm driving, she says, "Hey, you're unbelievable. Do you know that?" When I make a U-turn, just kind of out of nowhere, I said, "That's what the medians are for."
The medians.
Wow. So he was in the audience.
That is the answer.
Wow.
That is the answer.
Because
He was in
well
Home Alone.
known.
He was in Home Alone too.
He was
or
well
whatever it
known
was.
for
Lost
being
in New York.
wealthy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Hey, David, thank you for listening to AFR there in North Carolina. Thank you for your generosity to pay it forward. And just to be clear, the next person that answers the question correctly, you're going to win yourself a ball cap. Compliments of David from North Carolina.
All right. Okay, well, let's go to Tennessee next, and Tom is on the line. Tom, you have a chance to win a AFR ball cap. All you have to do is answer a question correctly. Where do you hail from in Tennessee, brother?
Chattanooga.
All right.
Oh, that's pretty country.
That's the home of WUIE is your network station in this area. Lakeside Chattanooga is where they say it's located.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
We've had that for about 3 years now. I think.
Yeah, it works good.
That's good, and you're right. Chattanooga's a
beautiful,
scenic town.
Grew up on the rim, going around Chattanooga, and you kind of go down into that bowl, and a lot to do there.
Never to be heard from again.
Well, but they'll spot you on the choo-choo.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Tom, you want to ask, answer, or do both? I got it.
I'd like to do both.
All right, which one you want to try to answer for an AFR ball cap?
I want to make sure that the D-Day question gets answered, so I'm going to give that a try.
Okay. All right. Well, that complicates things a little bit, I guess. We've already set up the rules here. So if you answer this one correctly without having to look it up or ask somebody, you'll also win a cap for that as well. So in the Normandy invasion on June 6, 1944, what were the code names for the 5 beaches upon which Allied forces landed? Go, Tom.
Let me confess first that I've already won a cap about 3 or 4 months ago, so I'll let you give this cap to somebody else before I'm tempted to take an extra.
Okay, all right. So you don't want any caps today, or just one?
I've already got one.
Same as last.
Wow, that was nice of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Same as David.
And, I think one way you could make a cap that might be even more popular than this one. And by the way, this is actually this is a nice, very nice baseball cap. It's identical to one that a restaurant here claims they pay $20 a piece for.
Ah.
So it's a well-made cap.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tim spent a lot of time designing this, so
I don't want to take all the credit.
It gets a lot of accolades.
It was a team effort.
Yes.
I mean, I led the team, but it was a team effort.
I think a good idea to recruit female students would be make a cap with you guys' pictures on the front and have written on it, "Ladies, come to Learning University where you can get a husband as good looking as these guys."
I thank you for your honesty. Tom.
Yeah, right.
Because ferociously handsome that's part of what I got in my bio. Hey, go ahead, shoot on these D-Day. Answer the question, Tom.
Okay, the American beaches were Utah and Omaha, known as Bloody Omaha, where many soldiers lost their lives. The British and Canadian beaches were Gold, Juno, and Sword.
That is correct.
All right.
Wow, nicely done.
Today, for those who haven't heard or don't know, today's June 6th, which is D-Day in 1944.
Yep. Hey, wonderful. Tom, were you able to, you knew that off the top of your head? It sounds like you know enough about it that you didn't have to look this up.
No, I didn't. I got interested in it from my mother telling me. She told me about Jesus, and she also told me about patriotism, and she gave me a book on D-Day when I was a little kid.
All right.
So that's how I learned it.
Amen.
Now, I just found out last night. I decided to read a little bit for the holiday, or not the holiday, but for the anniversary. And I found articles about chaplains that said there were 11 chaplains serving on the beaches at D-Day, and one of the 11 was killed. And it was a kind of any way a chaplain dies is fitting, but in a sense, this was extra fitting, I guess you'd say. He had under a flag of truce, or it wasn't a flag this time. It some other way indicated that he went to the German lines, talked to them about setting up an aid station for soldiers from both sides that were wounded, came back and talked to our officers, went back across again to talk to the Germans, and they had reached an agreement. And as he was walking back to the American lines, a German sniper didn't say why, but the guy shot the chaplain in the back and killed him.
Oh my! Wow. Well, a lot of courageous men. They were all courageous. A lot of them died on that day. But if you've seen movies about it, like Saving Private Ryan, it's just incredible that men can show that kind of bravery to storm a beach under those conditions. But excellent job, Tom. What's your question for us?
Okay, I got another baseball question for you, and
Tim's ready.
I hope this one is not such an obscure question as my last one. But who are John Roseboro and Juan Marichal, and why are their names united in baseball history?
All right, we're going to talk amongst ourselves. So, Juan Marichal, he pitched for the Cubs. What was the other guy's name, Tom?
John Roseboro.
I've never heard of him. Have you heard of him?
No.
Now, see, if you'd named a couple of names closer to home, you could Thunder and Lightning would come to mind.
Juan Marichal. Yeah, he was I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but.
Well, now, was it the catcher? Was it the pitcher and then the catcher that, could helped him, get to where he was?
I don't know. We any other hint you can give us?
Roseboro played for the Dodgers as a catcher. He did not make it to the Hall of Fame. Marichal played mostly for the Giants as a pitcher.
Oh, the Giants.
And someone getting struck with a baseball bat is maybe a good clue.
Yeah, that would have been.
Well, I'm sorry.
You're talking 1960s, right?
Yeah, Marichal's still alive, but you may go ahead and tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we don't know.
You'll probably remember it when I tell you. The Dodgers and Giants were big rivals, and Marichal had hit one or two batters. And so when John Roseboro was throwing the ball back to the Dodgers pitcher, he threw it kind of close to Marichal, and Marichal thought he felt the ball hit his ear, so he whacked Roseboro over the head with his baseball bat, and a huge fight started.
Yeah.
And they were kind of enemies until the 1980s, and then at that time they reconciled. And I tried to find out if they were Christians or anything, but I couldn't find any information about that. But anyway, when Marichal was eligible for the Hall of Fame, he wasn't getting in, and word was kind of going around that they were not electing him because of him hitting Roseboro with his bat. And so Roseboro wrote a letter to the Hall of Fame electors saying that, that was, they got carried away in the moment, and Marichal wasn't a big rat, and he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. And so Marichal was elected at that point.
Yeah.
And
so
I saw this on Dateline. Yeah,
they covered it.
It was a deep.
It went in depth.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Tom.
That's
was
good
very
sports trivia right there.
So now we have we have one more hat to give away to the next person who answers a question correctly. So we're going to
2 hats to give away.
Well, we haven't given away. They were both,
All right.
Oh yeah, I guess
Fine.
I guess the next two people who answer one correctly, because we've got two hats sitting out there.
Oh, that's right. Two.
Yeah, because he didn't take either one of them. All right, so we go to
what they
Pennsylvania.
say, two hats
Or better
in
than
the
none.
hand is better than one in the bush.
Yes.
I've heard
You've
that
been,
my whole life.
you've been reading the Message Bible over there in Proverbs.
That's a proverb.
All right, Wendy in Pennsylvania, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello, this is her husband, Lynn. She had to go into her doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay. So you came out of the bullpen.
We've heard that one before.
That's right.
So did you say Les?
Wendy.
Lynn.
Les.
Lynn, yep. Yep.
All right.
And she wanted to ask her the question about the ice cream truck.
Oh, here we go. It's true or false? You ready? Is it Les? Is that what? All right, Les and Wendy. Here's the question. And it's true or false. The standard music played from an ice cream truck takes melodies and rhythms from the most common children's lullabies to subliminally connect emotionally, the psychologically to attract children. Is that true or false?
She would say true.
It is 100% false.
Oh, you
I
made that up.
I made it up this morning, and I even I asked Steve Paisley-Jora to help me with a little bit of this language since he's so good with music, about melodies and rhythms. I knew what I wanted to say, and so we colluded, and we just made it up this morning.
Well,
sounded believable, though. Apparently,
absolutely. Well, it did, because it's not a very pleasant song. You know, it's just kind of clunky.
Some jingly sounds going on. Hey, good try, though. Tell Wendy, sorry I was able to stump her there. What's your question for us, Les?
All right. What town in Pennsylvania is known as the sweetest little town on earth?
That is Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Nope.
What?
I retract my clap.
Can you retract the clap?
Let me undo them.
That was the most confident. That was better than a guess. I would have. You pushed all my chips in on that.
You guessed it, and Tim started clapping before we even heard it. I had no idea. I didn't even think about Hershey.
All right, what's the answer?
Our next door town is Myersdale, Pennsylvania, and it is known for a lot of maple syrup production. They have a festival in the spring every year that celebrates the maple syrup industry here.
All right,
I think Hershey's gonna battle them on that sweetest little town.
So is that an official title for the town, or are you just
according
saying
to
that?
them?
Well, I don't know how official it is. I know it's coined with them and it's well known, but
That's
whether
good.
it is officially recorded or not, I can't answer that.
Well, that's pretty good. Hey, if you've never been, listeners, if you've never been to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and gone to the thing, you get to go. I think it's free, and you get free samples at the end of the tour of the Hershey's thing. Our family did that a couple of years ago, and it was awesome.
Well, that's when I was growing up in the Boston area. There was a garlic factory. It was operated the same way. You got free samples when you were finished.
Long line.
Yeah,
long line to get those garlic samples.
You never bothered by vampires. I
Thanks.
don't know what the connection was.
Nobody
there,
ever got attacked by a vampire that attended that.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, and hope everything goes well. Hope it's just a checkup for dear Wendy, and hope that you guys have a great weekend.
All right, you're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio, also known as
Learning University.
Learning University's on the air, and no need to go into another call right now. You got anywhere you're speaking coming up, JJ?
I have next week. I'm going to be doing stand-up comedy. The Activate Summit. Ed Vitagliano is going to be speaking. Abraham Hamilton III. Now, it's already sold out. But I would ask that you'd pray for people coming from all over the nation. We got a lot of people coming to Tupelo, Mississippi, where our flagship station is located. Todd Herman, Ed, Abraham Hamilton
Frank
III,
Turek,
Frank Turek, and
Alex
so
McFarland.
Pray that these the seeds will be planted. They have a teen track, so we just hope to help disciple some young people. That's the Activate Summit. Pray for that event next week.
Jetta Ellis, well, she'll be in a panel discussion. Lots of great things for adults and young people.
And if you missed out this year, please check that out next year.
Amen. Amen.
All right, we're going to take a time out right here. We'll be back and reset our questions for the last half hour of Trivia Friday on American Family Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
American Family Radio has always been portable, but thanks to technology, AFR apps have redefined our portability. Whether you prefer Apple or Android, we've got you covered on your phone or tablet. We're also available on Roku, and of course, you can get Alexa to play us on your smart device. Take us with you across town or across the country. Visit afr.net or your app store today.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. The suspect charged with a terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado this past weekend appeared in federal court today. Jeff Paul reporting from Denver.
Yesterday in state court, Solomon was charged with 118 counts, some of which include attempt to commit murder, use of explosive devices, assault in the first and third degrees, and animal cruelty. Now, investigators say 15 people and a dog are among those who are considered victims. Boulder County DA Michael Doherty says the charges reflect their evidence in what he called a horrific attack and the seriousness of it. But the DA also added while prosecutors will be laser focused on the man who they've charged, he encouraged the public to lift up the victims and support them.
There were 139,000 new jobs added to the American economy in May, slightly more than expected. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez Derrimer says it vindicates the president's economic agenda.
139,000 new jobs added to this economy is great for the American people. The focus of my America at Work tour is to increase those manufacturing jobs, and we'll continue to stay laser focused on that.
Smoke from Canadian wildfires prompts continued air quality alerts across parts of the U.S.
More than 100 wildfires continue burning, some out of control, across Manitoba, Ontario, and Saskatchewan, with the smoke continuing to push south, creating hazy skies and air quality alerts from the Central Plains, the upper Midwest to parts of New England, with the worst air quality into the weekend expected across the Great Lakes, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois, where health officials are warning people that may be sensitive to poor air quality to limit time outdoors. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu recently comparing ICE agents to neo-Nazi groups, saying Boston residents are, quote, terrified of getting snatched up by secret police force that wear masks. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons says he found those comments to be disgusting and insists his agents have to wear masks because their photos are being shared online and their lives put in danger.
We had an officer, his photo went viral everywhere. One of the best officers, most mild-mannered, nicest human beings on the planet. Yet he was described in the worst way with his photo taped to every street corner, to telephone poles, identifying him just for doing his job.
A senior prank at a California high school leaves a trail of destruction. Chris DeMayo has the story.
The Malibu School District says about 40 current and former students went on an unacceptable rampage at the high school and could soon face prosecution. Superintendent Dr. Antonio Shelton says a pack of students superglued locks to 20 classrooms, ripped down exterior clocks, and painted explicit messages and inappropriate images on walls. Shelton says the district is working with local police to track down the individuals so they can be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Chris DeMayo, Fox News.
Gun groups are pleased that the Supreme Court tossed a case from Mexico. Chris Woodward has more.
The government of Mexico wanted to hold U.S. gun makers accountable for so-called gun violence in Mexico. William Sack of Second Amendment Foundation says this should never have been at the Supreme Court.
The district court originally got this case right.
But it was the Second Circuit that said, well, not so fast. Maybe we're going to let this thing proceed. And that really was the shocking thing that happened in this case. So really what the Supreme Court did was just kind of bring us back to sanity.
Alan Gottlieb of Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms says this lawsuit was yet another attempt, this time by a foreign government, to financially drain American firearms manufacturers. Mark Oliva of National Shooting Sports Foundation agrees.
The law is the law. You cannot hold a firearm industry or a firearm manufacturer responsible for the criminal misuse of a firearm in another country because there's no predicate exception. There is no linkage of what happens at the firearm manufacturer to the criminal misuse of that firearm. So we are very pleased with this decision, and we are very encouraged by the Supreme Court upholding the Protection of Lawful Commerce and Arms Act as law.
I'm Chris Woodward.
American Family News is available online at afn.net. And download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty P.
The AFR app is a powerful tool, but it does have limitations. You can't use it to change the oil in your vehicle or get rid of carpet stains. It won't walk the dog, won't pick up the dry cleaning, or take the kids to practice. But while you're doing those things, you can listen to your favorite AFR content through the app on your phone, smart device, or Roku. Just go to your app store or visit afr.net. Listen to AFR wherever you go with the AFR app.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. I'm Tim Wildmon with Ed Battagliano and JJ Jasper, and as always, we thank you for listening to AFR and to Trivia Friday. We got 25 more minutes, more of education coming your way, and we are going to repeat our questions
that have heretofore
gone unanswered.
Now we're going to try to bring heretofore back into the lexicon of the English language.
Right. Heretofore has been lost. I don't think it's coincidental that social media has risen and the word heretofore has diminished. Am I right?
You could. That
At
could
the
be.
same time.
They could track.
Yeah, it could track. Okay, go ahead and give your questions. JJ, I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Did you have his questions? And
I have 2 questions remaining, and then I'll see if I can look at this handwriting. I'm just going to say.
Yes.
I'd be lucky to be able to read any of that, but.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Here he's coming. He's coming.
Here he is.
All right. Here are my 2 questions. What was the name of the failed organization that preceded the United Nations? There was a group that after World War II disbanded. It was replaced by the United Nations. And then second question remaining, what is the most widely eaten fish in the United States? And to JJ's point, we're not talking about eaten by cats, which would probably be goldfish. We're talking about human beings, people. Most widely eaten fish in the United States.
Here's what I've got. First question, it's multiple choice. What does a stimp meter measure? STIMPMETER. Does it measure the speed of a golf course putting green? Or B, the speed that solid rocket boosters are jettisoned from a spacecraft? Or C, the speed at which magma is pushed from the mantle to the surface of the earth to become lava? What does a stimp meter measure? Something about a golf course, a rocket, or a volcano? And then I'll add one. What legendary record label was founded by Sam Phillips in 1952?
All right, I got 2 questions. One is what is the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? And my second question is this. By the way, if you can answer that one without looking it up, send you an AFR ball cap.
Wow.
So if you can do.
Okay, we already have 2 ball caps to give away.
Okay.
Basically, everybody that answers the question.
And that's my problem because. All right, so
point taken.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're just
everybody that answers the question correctly from now.
You get a hat, and you get a hat, and you get a hat.
So the second question I have is Pule, P-U-L-E, cheese comes from the milk of what animal? And of course, this is a very expensive cheese. This is top shelf.
That's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah, right. This ain't
This is not a good mozzarella.
This ain't your mama's mozzarella. No. All right. So Pule cheese, which is what famous. I mean, it comes from the milk of what animal? All right.
You wanted number one, and would you like Pule cheese with that?
On your cheese fries. All right, we go to.
Oh man, go ahead.
We go to Texas, and Orban is on the line. Orban, welcome back, I should say, to Trivia Friday.
Hello, professors.
Hello, brother Orban. Well, welcome back. What's your pleasure today? You want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'd like to try both, please.
All right, which one you want to answer?
Okay, I had this all worked out before that guy answered it about the. I won't tell you what it is. Here's how I was going to answer the question. I was going to play this. I used to do this on my PA system, going down the road, and I'd be playing this harmonica, and all the bad kids, they'd come out to get ice cream, and I would give them a piece of coal, And
but you were probably people loved you in the neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, I'd be driving down the road and going. No kids come running out to get ice cream, and I'd get a cold.
Booja! Booja! Man, that's cruel.
You just made me hungry for butter pecan ice cream.
Yeah.
Hey, Orban, ask, answer, or do both. Which one you want to answer?
Okay, you just reminded me of something about ice cream. It's a question. When I was in Alaska, I went into Baskin-Robbins in Fairbanks, Alaska to order ice cream. And as soon as I said that ice cream and pointed to it, there was an earthquake, and we had to run out of the building. Can you guess what the ice cream that I ordered was?
I don't think anybody could.
I'm gonna say Rocky Road.
You got it. You got it.
Wow,
you got it.
nicely done,
Yeah.
Rocky Road.
I just had a premonition, which is also a
The
flavor of
minute
ice
I-
cream.
I'll have a couple of scoops of
premonition. And they say, we knew you were going to ask for that. Hey, that's good,
yeah.
Orban. Did you want to answer one of ours?
Yeah, the minute I pointed to Rocky Road, those windows started shaking and the long stem plants were doing the hula. And I said, let's get out of here. It's an earthquake. And we came back in and the girl grabbed me. She said, you know we were going to have an earthquake? And I said, no, however would I know that? And she said, as soon as you said Rocky Road, it started rocking and rolling. So,
Yeah. How long were you in Alaska, Orban?
pretty near 20 years, Don.
Yeah.
Pretty near 20 years.
Yeah. Did you ever run into any bears?
I did.
Yeah.
We used to eat bear up there when I lived in Wildmon, Alaska. We ate bear, brown and black, because salmon don't.
You didn't
come up
discriminate.
that far.
That's good. You didn't discriminate. Yeah. Go
It was
ahead.
good eating.
Yeah.
Which question you want to answer, Orban?
Okay. The one I was gonna. Did I already answer one?
No, sir. You said something about you wanted to play your
15 minutes. I
harmonica
can't
on one.
remember.
Yeah. Go ahead. You want to answer one of ours?
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
try this one. What about? I'm trying to figure this out. I had some
Take your
notes
time.
down here, and I lost them.
That's all right. Well, hey, listen, have a great weekend, Orban. Thank you for listening to AFR. God bless you, buddy. Have a big time in Texas this weekend.
All right, we go to Kansas, and Karen is on the line. Karen, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you.
Well, where do you live in Kansas, Karen?
I live in Minneapolis, which is north of Salina.
All right.
So, JJ, I didn't get down to see you the other day.
Well, maybe next time. I'll be in.
Oh, there'll be
I'll
next time. And the next, and the next, and the next.
I'll be in Elyria. I'll be speaking for the Elyria Christian School in November, October or November. I'm not sure.
Where's Elyria?
Elyria is not too far from Hutch, Inman, right around in there. Hutchison, yeah. Come on over.
I went to Beloit and saw you a few years ago, and went to Concordia and saw you a few years ago.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Yeah, those were for pregnancy. Accordion. Yeah.
Well, you should save those miles because JJ has a frequent flyer kind of visitor miles program going. You can cash those in.
Somebody came up to me, Tim. Somebody came up to me and they asked if I was going to visit my campaign headquarters
in Wichita.
No, when I was in Newton.
Oh, Newton.
Yeah, they said, "Hey, are you going to leave here and stop by your campaign headquarters running for governor?" And they laughed and they said, "I said you've heard Tim say that." They said, "Oh yeah." Well, hey, you want to answer, or do both, Karen?
I would like to do both.
Which one you feel confident about?
I want to. I was going to answer the 7-Up one, and I've been on hold, and somebody else answered that. So I'll try the graveyard one.
Hey, listen, if you get this correctly, you win a
free ball cap.
That's right. So, yeah. What'd you say?
Did you say 3?
If she answers it right, we got to get rid of them before the show's over. Can't have ball caps stacked up in here.
Well, you get a chance to win 1 ball cap because we'll have a couple more people call in. Karen, tell us.
Okay, here's the question Karen's going to answer. What is the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? And if she answers it, did you know this without looking it up, Karen, or did you look it up?
I didn't look it up. My husband, we didn't look it up, but my husband said this is what he thought it was. So this is not my answer. It's my husband's.
Okay.
I think it's the graveyard is at a church and the cemetery is not.
That's right.
Wow. Hey, listen,
that's right.
Karen, you let your husband wear that cap.
Well, listen, I think we ought to give him 2.
Let's do it. Let's give him a his and
2.
hers.
Yep, give a his and her.
2 ball caps.
You get 2 ball caps is what you
now
want.
Now say
Karen.
that again. I want to remember that.
The difference, the question is, what is the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? And as Karen accurately and her husband accurately answered the question, graveyards are attached to churches.
I did not know this.
Cemeteries are standalone.
Okay. Yeah. And, we just had Memorial Day. That used to be called Decoration Day. People would have the service. Then they'd go right next door to the graveyard and clean up around the headstones and put fresh flowers.
Churches that are 50 years or old, I don't know when they stopped doing that, but if you got a church that's 50 years or older, it's going to have a graveyard. A lot of them are going to have graveyards out by there.
But now let me just ask you this.
Country churches, especially.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I've seen churches with, I guess, I don't know if it's a graveyard or the cemetery, like across the street. So that would be a cemetery because it's not like attached to the church kind of thing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Here's the deal. You said you don't know why they quit having them next to the church. I'll tell you exactly why. So many church splits happened over the year over the color of carpet. And the music been too loud. I said, I don't want to be buried next door to that church the way that deacon done me. Let's just go somewhere else. Let's go in town. Because I know the reason they put fences around cemeteries is because people are just dying to get in.
Ba-da-boom.
All right. So, Karen, when we're finished with you on the air, we know you got a question for us. Stay on the line. We'll put you on hold. Cindy Roberts will come on and get your information, and both you and your husband can have won a ball cap, so you can have his and hers.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Hey, you can wear them when you come see me this fall.
Yeah.
There
you go. All right, what's your question for us, Karen?
Okay, this is a riddle. Forward it's heavy, backward it's not. What is it?
Forward it's heavy, backwards it's not.
Sounds like a wheelbarrow, but I don't know why. Oh, I'm going to say mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
I don't even know why.
She ain't heavy.
On the tip
She's
of
my
tongue.
mother-in-law.
Hey, I'm going to retract that because since I've been in radio, I've not said a mother-in-law joke because my mother-in-law, Candy Anderson Ferris, is so awesome. So
she's a
I
wonderful
retract that. She's ruined it for me to not ever be able to
mother-in-law joke.
Throw out mother-in-law jokes.
Guys, if you're the ones that have to come up with this one, I have no idea.
I can usually get a riddle. You had riddles for a
Forever.
decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Riddlemeister, what is it?
Yeah, I'll never get those years back.
Forward it's heavy, backward it's not.
Tim, channel your
You
inner.
guys give up?
Channel your inner pool cheese.
Yeah.
It's right there, Tim.
I don't know. What's the answer, Karen?
It's easy when you have the answer, but I wouldn't have a clue. It's ton. So backward it's not.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
Forward it's
good.
heavy, backward it's not. That's
riddles. Riddles like that always have something literal usually inside the. So yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's so obvious. It's like the nose on your face during a graduation speech.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen, I'm going to put you on hold. Your 2 ball caps, I think, are courtesy of David and Tom. And so congratulations to you. And we'll get your information and send you the ball cap.
All right, let's repeat our questions for the last time today.
All right, I just have 2 remaining. What was the name of the failed organization that preceded the United Nations? And second of all, what is the most widely eaten fish eaten by people in the United States?
What does a stimp meter measure? Does it have to do with a golf course, a rocket, or lava from a volcano? Second, what legendary record label was founded by Sam Phillips in 1952? And I'll throw out Memphis. It was in Memphis, Tennessee.
I just got one question left, and that's a Pule milk question. A Pule cheese comes from the milk of what animal? And we're running out of time.
Yeah.
To answer this question.
In a lot of ways, we are, Tim.
Yeah. Well, the Earth is.
Yeah,
really
a lot of ways.
Milk.
We're running out of questions. Out of time.
So anyway, so the question is, what Pule cheese comes from the milk of what animal?
All right, let's go to Mississippi, and Carol is on the line. Carol, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Carol. How are you? Where do you live in Mississippi?
Barnum.
All right.
Barnum.
Hey, Carol, if you answer correctly, we're going to send you an AFR cap from some folks that paid that forward. So be careful on the one you choose. Choose one you feel very confident about.
Okay.
Which one?
The record label.
Okay, here's the question. What legendary record label was founded by Sam Phillips in 1952?
Sun Records.
Hey,
wow.
Nice, nicely done. And that Elvis Presley, you had the millionaires, the 4 millionaires. What do they call it? The Millionaire Club or the Millionaire Quartet. That's the word I was looking for. And that was Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis. Who is the guy that wrote Carl Perkins
and Alfalfa.
And Alfalfa's rich driver in the.
How'd you know that, Carol?
Nice job.
Just I've seen the movies about Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you, now I haven't been. You can go. I've driven by the in Memphis
Sun Records there.
Yeah.
Is it around the Beale Street
still
area?
around?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Boy, they churned out Sam Phillips. They churned out a lot of iconic singers from that small label there.
Well, Carol, make sure. I know you probably got a question for us, but before we let you go, hang on. We'll put you on hold. Cindy Roberts will get your information, and we will send you a free ball cap. So good on you. What's your question for us?
I didn't have one.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Hey, thank you so much.
We'll going to put you on hold and get your information, and congratulations
Sun
to you,
Records.
Carol.
Sun Records.
In Memphis. I don't even think
so. Elvis, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis. That was what they called the $1 Million Quartet.
All right, let's go to Oklahoma. And Tim is on the line. Tim, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning, gentlemen. I trust you're doing well.
Yeah. Good morning, Tim. Thanks for calling. Where you live in Oklahoma?
Weatherford.
Weatherford.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
JJ knows that.
I was just out there this spring.
No.
There was.
Yes, sir.
Good area. More windmills than I've ever seen in any area in my life.
Windmills, really?
Yeah, there are windmills everywhere, every direction. But great people and very
Windmills,
impressed.
just like
I
people,
mean, the
people who wear
solar-
wooden shoes.
No.
Tulips everywhere.
Wind turbines.
Wind turbines. Well, aren't those windmills electric generating?
I think they're a step up from a windmill.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Solar wind farms. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the right word, Tim?
Bird killers.
What do you guys call them?
What I call them.
Slice them and dice them.
Windmills.
All
right.
That's where my son is a mechanic up there.
Oh, good.
But either way.
Tim, did you make it to that pregnancy center banquet when I was there?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, okay,
Wow,
great. Well, listen.
I kind of have a question for you, JJ. Do you remember the deer just before you started speaking? That was out there in the area just outside the doors.
Yes, sir. This
deer?
Yeah, this place is like one of those venue places. It was knocked out. It was one of the prettiest places I've seen. And it was called like deer is kind of thing. I think in the what's the name of the place?
I don't remember.
Yeah, something like the so and so at Deer Meadows or whatever.
okay.
And the deer just kind of just come out there and just graze on the lawn there. Hey, what's your question, Tim?
Well, I was going to answer the previous failed.
Okay. Let me
organization
repeat the question, Tim. What was the name of the failed organization that preceded the United Nations?
That would be the League of Nations.
The League of Nations.
Way to go,
It was
Tim.
established after World War I, but was replaced because obviously the reason for which it was established was to prevent another world war. They failed. So that's how we got the United Nations. It's been in existence, I guess, since 1946. How'd you know that, Tim? Sounds like you probably knew it already. Didn't have to look it up.
Well, my wife told me, verified it. I'd like to make a clarification.
Yes, sir.
On your beaches of D-Day.
Okay.
Juneau was a Canadian beach. You had Utah and Omaha were the Americans, and Gold and Sword were British, and Juneau was a Canadian. And the Canadians also had the Free Polish contingent in that invasion.
Okay. All right.
That's good.
Excellent. Thank you for adding
information
to the knowledge and making that correction. Appreciate it.
What's your question for us, Tim?
My question.
My question for y'all.
I'm sorry. I was looking at a text. I got distracted. I thought you were talking to me. My apologies. Go ahead, Tim.
What is the color and mascot of the Learning University?
The color.
Yeah,
and
like the team
mascot.
colors?
Wow. How does he know and we don't?
Listen, we are open to suggestions.
It's a premonition.
Tim. What do you?
Just like the ice cream.
What do you
like the favorite ice cream flavor?
What do you think we should? What do you think the team colors?
Well, wait.
should
What's
be?
the answer? He might know something that we don't. What's the answer, Tim?
Well, I was going to say the Four Stooges, but that would not be a good.
No, that's what that is hurtful.
And there's only 3 of it, so that's bad. That's Common Core math blended with some a little dig. All right, what do you think? What's the answer, Tim?
I have no idea. That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay.
You are the Learning University professors.
All right, we got to come up with the mascot.
We're not part of the
and
administration.
some colors.
The administration has let us all down, Tim.
That's right.
We used to have a T-shirt that we sold.
We did.
Maybe you need a new T-shirt.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, Tim, we're gonna have to let you go. We got to give the answers up against the end of our show.
That's
here.
right. Tim, tell my friends in Weatherford I said hello. Hey, that was a really nice place. I flew into Oklahoma City, drove to Weatherford. Beautiful, scenic, and it was Indian reservation right there near that.
All right. I have one question remaining that needs to be answered. What is the most widely eaten fish in the United States, guys?
I'm going to say salmon.
I'm going to say brim.
Tuna fish.
Oh, sure.
All right, that's it. That's all I got.
What does a stimp meter measure? The speed of a golf course, putting green, rocket, or volcano? Tim Wildmon knows.
It's a putting green.
It measures the speed of a golf course putting green.
Huh.
How's it do that? Is it like a little bit of a laser
Well,
level?
it depends on, not to get too technical for non-golf people, but it depends on how they mow down and press down the grass
The turf.
on the golf green.
Right.
It makes the ball roll faster.
Yeah, and you
or
got to know
slower.
how it
Yeah.
lays, if it's going to cut to the right or the left. What are your guys?
My question is, Pule cheese comes from the milk of what animal?
Alligators.
Is it a mule?
It's a mule.
Well, the only reason I said that is because you said Pule mule here just a
did.
little while ago.
Accidentally?
Yeah, accidentally.
A
And I thought that
Freudian,
must be-
was it a Freudian
It
slip?
was.
Anyway, Pule milk is a very expensive cheese. Pule cheese made from donkey milk, 60% of the. So
I got
there
to
you
tell
go.
you, goat milk, it doesn't sound great, but mule milk sounds even worse.
Duly noted. Have a great weekend, everybody.